or pump or a fan, whatever it is, depending upon this of a this kind of a means. We try to supply energy from the energy supplied from the motor to the shaft. So energy supply. The next thing, what are the losses that can happen in case of this kind of machines? So we do have frictional or mechanical or whatever it will do. Those are the kind of losses what we come across here. So we do have losses. Okay. After this, actually, the energy is available at the rotor. Okay. Energy available at the rotor. Okay. Then, so I need to transfer this energy to the fluid. So that there is the amount of losses. So what are those losses actually? Those losses I call it as rotor losses. And the energy will go to the energy available at the fluid. If you call this as 1, this as 2, and this as 3. So similar to the different types of efficiency what I defined for a turbine, here also I can. The first one is split as the hydraulic or wave or vane. Okay. Here, if you look at it, it's actually the energy available at the fluid to the energy available at the rotor. So it's 3 by 2 efficiency, or it is energy available at the rotor to the energy available at the shaft. Okay. The volumetric efficiency. Very similar to this actually. The volume of water available at the exit to the volume of the fluid that is entering at the entry. Same thing. Your mechanical efficiency and your volume. Why what is the purpose of going for this efficiency? For this efficiency, to quantify the what we saw. It was more of like an energy interaction. That's it. It was like energy was the energy interaction. So energy that is getting in and the energy that is going out. So energy that is getting in and energy that is going out. Fine. Now we have looked into this first law of thermodynamics as well as the second law of thermodynamics applied to turbo machines. So one for an ideal case and another one is for your actual case. Okay. Now once we have seen this first law and second law of thermodynamics, so we try to analyze this based on your some kind of what we call it as, that is called as a non-dimensional analysis of this turbo machines. So we call that as model studies of turbo machines. Model studies of turbo machines. Fine. Now, when you speak of this non-dimensional model studies, all those things, if you go back and look into your what you studied in your fluid mechanics. So we used to consider some of the variables. See, if I consider what is the main purpose of the turbo machine is to transfer the energy either from your rotating member, that is your rotor, to your fluid, or from fluid to the rotor. So that is the thing. So while this particular energy transfer is occurring, I can look into different parameters which go into designing or preparing or building your turbo machine. So let me call that as the variables or the parameters. The variables are parameters of turbo machine analysis. Let me call that as simple non-dimensional analysis, what we are trying to do. So when you look into this kind of analysis, I should be fine now. Is my still voice breaking? Hello?
It's fine, sir.
Hello?
Yes, sir, it is.
Now it's fine. I think only three people. There are Nawaz Khan, Srinwan, and Sharad. I think they're telling voice is breaking. But I don't see because I have good signal and I'm doing it.
No, sir, it was breaking back
I
there.
just look at the.
Voice is a little bit
Okay,
broken, sir.
maybe in between. Then now,
Now it is proper, sir.
what about now?
Now it's proper.
Okay, fine. No. Okay, fine. Thank you. I'll continue. Okay. Now, when you look at this variables or parameters of analysis, so what are the different variables which you look at actually? See, the size of the turbo machine is one important parameter. Okay. The size of the turbo machine, when you always speak of, the first parameter that comes to our mind is the diameter of the machine. Okay. The diameter of the machine. That is your, now onwards the machine, if I call it, is a turbo machine. So if then, what is the variable I define? This as either small d or capital D. What is the unit for your diameter? It is meter. And what is its non-dimensional thing? It is expressed in terms of, we know that mass, ml, t, and so mlt, until unless we don't go with the temperature theta is not there. Until unless I go with some kind of a steam turbines and all, where I have to go with theta. Otherwise, I'll just go with your mass mlt. So length times mass. So now when I go d means unit non-dimensional thing is actually it is L. The next thing, see, when I speak of this turbo machine, so the quantity of the fluid that's flowing is very important. Okay. So the quantity of the fluid means it's a discharge. Okay. The second variable like you need to consider is the discharge through the machine. Okay. And I call it as Q. And what is the unit for it? It is cubic meters per second in SI units. And so meter is L to the power of 3 and second is T to the power of minus 1. So this is non-dimensional thing. Now, as I told, my turbo machine is rotating member. It has to rotate at some constant speed. Okay, then speed becomes one of my parameters. So speed of the machine is one of my parameters. So speed is given by, so capital N means it's RPM and small n means it is RPM. So if I go with RPM, so it is actually, it is revolutions per minute, so it is T to the power of minus 1. Now, as I told that this turbo machines work under particular fluid head actually. So then head under which the fluid is your machine is working, we call it as head under which the machine is working becomes one of my parameter or variable. So it's given by capital H. So its unit is meters, and once again the non-dimensional thing is L. Okay. Now, am I dealing with the real fluids? If I'm dealing with real fluids, then density is there. So density of the fluid is one of my variable or parameter. So it's denoted by rho And what are the unit? It's actually, it is kg per meter cube, and this is actually, it is m for the kg, so it is meter cube means L to the power of minus 3. Okay. Now, as we are dealing with the real fluid, density is one parameter, and I do have the viscosity also. So viscosity means, so I can take dynamic viscosity. Dynamic viscosity of the fluid. So if I take that, it is denoted by mu. What are the unit for it? Actually, it is Pascal second or Newton second per meter square, and its unit, non-dimensional unit, is actually, it is ml to the power of minus 1 t to the power of minus 1. If I try to simplify for Newton, what is Newton actually? It is, say, mass into acceleration. Okay, so if I try to simplify all those things, then second, meter square, all those things, you'll end up with m n to the power of minus t to the power of minus 1. This will be your simplified unit. Okay. Now, when I speak of turbo machine, power is one more variable. Okay. So power, either it can be supplied to the machine or power produced by the machine. Okay. So power is one variable we have to consider. Okay. So power is actually, it is joules per second or watts. Okay. So the corresponding unit, non-dimensional unit, will be ml square t to the power of minus 3. So joule is nothing but Newton meter. So this will become Newton meter per second. Okay, all the things. So your Newton is once again mass and acceleration, that is kg meter per second. So all those things, if I try to simplify. Now, other than this, I have to look into two more parameters, even though they are not that significant in our turbo machine, but still we have to consider. One such parameter is your acceleration due to gravity. That is your g. Okay, so the unit is meters per second square, and it is L t to the power of minus 2. And I have one more unit, which is your coefficient of velocity or Young's modulus. Young's modulus, which is your E, and you know that unit of your stress is Newton per meter square, and its non-dimensional is actually is m L to the power of minus 1 t to the power of minus 2. So these are the 9 different parameters we consider to analyze your turbo machines. Fine. Now there is a note here. See, what we try to do is actually your G and H, two variables are there, is combined as a single variable. G and H is combined as a single variable. So if that is the case, that means your H, that is 4 and 8, both are combined. So what is the total number of variables I have? Okay, let me call that as, therefore total number of variables, let me call that as small m, it is 8. What are the 3 different dimensional parameters? So we have number of non-dimensional units. What we consider, it is mass, length and time. So it is, if I call that as n, it is 3. So then according to, therefore, according to Buckingham's pi theorem, so number of pi terms according to Green-Pie theorem, the number of pi terms, how much it is actually? It is m minus n, which is 8 minus 3, it is 5 pi terms. So what are those actually? Those pi terms are, let me call it as pi 1, pi 2, pi 3, pi 4 and pi 5. So I have 5 different pi terms. Pi 1, pi 2, pi 3, pi 4, pi 5. Okay. Now once I have this number of 5 terms, so there are certain repeating variables. If you go back and see in your fluid mechanics, so when we are looking at the fluid mechanics, we need to choose. See, this you can take this as a, see, to solve this pi 1, pi 2, pi 3. So we need to choose the repeating variables. How the repeating variables are chosen? Repeating variables are chosen in such a way, it should be one of the dimensional property and one should be a fluid property. That means it should be a kinematic property, kinetic property, and dimensional thing. If you go by that, actually, I can choose your density, your diameter, and L. So you need not go by rho dl, but you can go with any other. Just I have gone with rho dl, so as a repeating variables. Now, once I have written this, let us write the pi terms. Let us write the pi terms. So rho dn is my repeating variable. Therefore, I can write pi 1 is equal to, the repeating variable is rho to the power of a1, fine, d to the power of b1, then n to the power of c1. Okay. Then I will take what are the leftover parameters. If I take, let me take one by one, that is q. Okay, let me take q. Then similarly, if I take pi 2, which is rho to the power of a2, d to the power of b2, n to the power of c2, then I can take one more variable, that is your gh. Fine. Then let me take one more variable, that is your pi 3. So rho to the power of a3, d to the power of b3, n to the power of c3, and one more property variable, that is mu. Then pi 4, rho to the power of a4, d to the power of b4, n to the power of c4, then one more variable, power p. Then pi 5, which is equal to rho to the power of a5, d to the power of b5, n to the power of c5, and leftover is your Young's modulus E. So 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So all 8 variables are considered here. Okay. Now, as I told, as per your syllabus, we are not supposed to derive this actually, because already you know how to derive this pi 1, pi 2 terms based on your Buckingham-Pi theorem. So what I want is getting this pi terms, take it as a homework. As a homework, you can see, you know this pi 1, pi 2, pi 3, pi terms. Then you know to equate it based on the dimensions. How to equate it actually? Put pi 1 is equal to m to the power of 0, L to the power of 0, T to the power of 0 on the left hand side is equal to properties of rho. So that to the power of a1, your non-dimensional of the d, that is to the power of b2, then non-dimensional of q to the power of nothing. So then equate it all for m terms, L terms and T terms, and find the constants A1, B1, C1. Similarly, A2, B2, C2, A3, B3, C3, A4, B4, C4, A5, B5, C5. So this you take that as an homework. I want you people to complete this actually. And I'm going to put this as a simple maybe assignment or something in the Google Classroom. I want you people to solve this today and upload it by end of the day. By end of the day, everyone should be able to upload this. Fine. Now, if I try to solve this actually using Buckingham pi theorem, so if I solve this, my pi 1, what will happen here? See here, I will be getting my rho term, A1 term will become 0 if I try to solve this. So this will become Q divided by N d cube. So your C1 is -1, fine. Your B1 is -3. Then your A1 is equal to 0. So this is what I'm going to get. Then if I solve for pi 2, so this will be your GH divided by N square E square. Fine. Then your pi 3. So you have mu divided by rho n d square. Then your pi 4 is actually, it is power p divided by rho n cube d to the power of 5. Then your pi 5 is equal to your Young's modulus E divided by rho n square d square. So these are the things what I am going to get actually. So now pi 1 term, you have the discharge divided by nd cube. This is called as discharge coefficient. Okay, you have G and H. See, you have the H term here. You have Q term, you have H term here. This is called as head coefficient. Fine. So if you try to simplify this, see what is ND? Pi d n by 60. Look at this. See, you have ND is equal to U. See, your ND is equal to U. If you go by that logic, ND is equal to U, this will become rho U d by mu. So this will become 1 upon Reynolds number. Your pi 3 term will become 1 upon Reynolds number. So I will try to simplify that also. I'll write it. So I can write it as this mu rho into ND. I can write it as U, then D. So I can write rho U d by mu. This is 1 upon Reynolds number. Now the next one, we call this as, we have the power term here. This is called as power coefficient. Then the last one, see E by rho divided by N square d square. What is E by rho? It's a compressibility factor. Fine. If you look at this particular thing, so this becomes a compressibility factor. Now among all these 5 parameters, we will look into discharge coefficient, head coefficient and power coefficient more frequently, because Reynolds number automatically comes to in our turbo machines based on the type of flow, based on the velocity of the flow, and compressibility factor is dealt with whenever we deal with maybe compressible fluids. Say when I'm going with the fluids, maybe gas dynamics, so where your compressibility effects are felt very huge or large the compressibility effects are felt, I'm going to consider this one. Otherwise, most of the turbo machines, your discharge coefficient, head coefficient and your power coefficient becomes significant for us. Fine. Now, let's try to discuss this particular thing. Some of the coefficients. See, your discharge coefficient, if you look at it actually, your discharge is a very significant factor. Your discharge is a significant factor. Now, when you look at the head coefficient, the head under which your turbo machine is working is a significant factor. Then when I speak of power P, so power developed by the machine becomes a significant factor. So if these are the things when we look into this particular machines, your other three factors that comes into picture. What are those actually? We call those as specific speed. We call that as specific speed. And we call that as n suffix s. So when we speak of this specific speed, so you have, see, if you look at this, all the 4 or 5 non-dimensional numbers, at every point you could see there is a diameter. Now, when I'm looking at non-dimensional numbers, so I should ensure that the size of the turbo machine, if I'm able to come out with some kind of a non-dimensional number, which is very significant in designing or in designing a turbo machine, where the size of the turbo machine doesn't come into picture at all. If I have some kind of a what I call it as a independent of the size of the machine, independent of the D. So this is, we call it as independent of the size of the machine. So size, we go with D. So we call that as NS. So now we have this NS, which is very significant. I have the specific speed for turbine. I can get the specific speed for a turbine, and I can derive specific speed for a maybe a compressor or a pump, whatever. So if I take for a turbine, say for example for turbine, so usually that we call it as NS suffix T. Now, what is this NST? See, I'm going to take this pi 4. What is your power coefficient? Your power coefficient. Fine. Then your head coefficient. I'm going to take your power coefficient and head coefficient and write it something like this. So what is this actually? Your power coefficient, I can write it as P divided by rho n cube d to the power of 5 divided by your head coefficient is actually GH divided by n square d square. This is what I have actually. So this is equal to your NST. Now here, if you look at it, I need to eliminate this D. Look at this. Eliminate this D square or D, whatever I have, this particular thing, whatever I'm trying to color it, yellow color. I need to eliminate D. See here, I need to eliminate D. So if I want to do that, what I'm going to do, I will take this, the numerator I will raise it to the power of half, and the denominator I will raise it to the power of 5 by 4. What will happen? Look at this. So the diameter, automatically your numerator and diameter just simply they go off. Numerator I will raise it to the power of half. The denominator I will raise it to the power of, see, if this would have been simply a D, I would have raised it to 5 by 2. This is D square, I am raising it by 5 to the power of 4. Now what will happen? Once I have this, if I try to simplify this, NST. So if I try to look into this, NST is equal to is P to the power of half divided by rho to the power of half n to the power of 3 by 2 d to the power of 5 by 2 whole thing divided by fine, g to the power of 5 by 4 h to the power of 5 by 4 divided by n to the power of 5 into 2, it is 10, 10 by 4, then this is d to the power of 10 by 4. If you try to simplify this, so what will happen? D to the power of 10 by 4 is 5 by 2. Automatically, these two things, they simply cancel out. They simply cancel out. What I am left with actually, I am left with the term that is your NST. That is specific speed. I am left with a term that is P to the power of 1 upon half. Okay, P to the power of 1 upon half divided by rho to the power of half n to the power of 3 by 2 divided by, so g to the power of, that is 5 by 4 h to the power of 5 by 4 divided by n to the power of 5 by 2. This is what I am left with actually. I can simplify this further. What I am going to do actually, I will take the denominator to the numerator, that is n to the power of 5 by 2 minus 3 by 2. Okay, n to the power of 5 by 2 minus 3 by 2. I am left with n. Okay, I am left with n. Then it's in the numerator. P to the power of half, I can write it as, it is root P, fine, divided by, I have G and H. G and H, you have rho. That is, you have the rho. Actually, you have the rho, that is square root of this particular thing. Or I can write P by rho. That's one particular thing. So you have non-dimensional as well as dimensional. I can write rho to the power of, say, you have root rho and GH whole to the power of 5 by 4. Or if you want, I can write this, the same thing, I can write it as n root P by rho divided by GH to the power of 5 by 4. So this, see, when you have this particular thing, this is called as non-dimensional. This is your non-dimensional specific speed. Non-dimensional specific speed for a turbine. That is NST, non-dimensional specific speed of a turbine. So when you have this particular non-dimensional specific speed for a turbine, this value of n, this particular thing n, should be in radians per second. This n should be in radians per second. Suppose I want to go with your regular revolutions per minute or something. Then the same thing, I can write it as NST is equal to your n divided by P. See what will happen, your root P into whatever this particular speed of n, that becomes your RPM. Then G also will go off. I am left with only your H to your 5 by 4. This is your dimensional specific speed, where this is in RPM. So what I am trying to do, your n in RPM is equal to, you have your 1 by root rho into your G to the power of 5 by 4. So that this becomes a dimensional number. If you want further reading on this particular thing, You have to go and look into the derivation, all those things and all. So one particular thing, we have the non-dimensional thing, that is n root p by rho divided by g h power of, that is a non-dimensional specific speed. And so most of us we go with the dimensional quantity, that is what we are trying to measure it. We are trying to measure your speed in terms of revolutions per minute or revolutions per second, and divided by your head or whatever it means. So the one is the dimensional specific speed, other one is a non-dimensional specific speed. This is about your turbine. So what about for a compressor or a pump or whatever it may be? So for a compressor or pump or a fan. So for this, so the non-dimensional number is defined by NSP. We call that as NS suffix P. So for this, what we try to take? We try to take the pi 1. What is pi 1? Your discharge coefficient. Your discharge coefficient, and divided by, once again, your head coefficient. So I'm going to take the discharge coefficient and head coefficient and try to get my parameter which is independent of your diameter. So if I try to write it, this will be NSP. I'm going to write Q divided by N d square, that's one term, divided by GH divided by N square d square. So here also I want to eliminate my D. I want to eliminate my D. To do that, what I'm going to do actually, I will raise this to the power of 1 upon 2, that is root 2. I'm going to raise this to the power of 2, and this I'm going to raise to the power of 3 by 4. So if I do that, so what I'm going to get actually, I'm going to get Q to the power of 1 upon half divided by, it is N to the power of 1 upon 2. This will be N to the power of 3 by 2 divided by, fine, G to the power of 3 by 4, H to the power of 3 by 4 divided by, so 6 by 4 or 3 by 2, whatever it may be. I can write it as directly 3 by 2, but I can write this also. So it is 6 by 4, that is 3 by 2. Now DD just simply just cancel out. What I am left with actually, NSP, I am left with root Q, that is N to the power of 3 by 2 minus 1 upon 2. Actually it is only N, I am left with N. So to the power of half, I can write it as root Q divided by GH to the power of 3 by 4. Okay. Now, what is this actually? This is non-dimensional. This is also non-dimensional specific speed. Why? Because your NSP will be in radians. So in that case, this N also will be in radians per second. So if I want to make it same thing, your dimensional one, I'm going to get N root Q by H power of 3 by 4, H power of 3 by 4, where this N will be in RPM. So this is my dimensional specific speed. Dimensional specific speed. So N will be equal to N by, see, N in speed, that is RPM. I'm going to get N in radians divided by G to the power of 3 by 4. So I got, see, what is the significance of this particular thing? So the significance is, Say for example, you take any turbo machine. I'm going to give a table for it. I'll stick the table. I will attach the table. Say if I try and go, I'm going to calculate the specific speed. So using this particular formula. So n root q by x power of maybe 3 by 4 or non-dimensional one n root q by gx power of 3 by 4. All my pumps or maybe compressors and all. So now, if they get a number, non-dimensional number, this is 0.1 or 0.2 or 10 or 12 or whatever it may be. Based upon that, I can clearly tell what type of turbo machine it is. Is it a radial turbo machine? Is it an axial flow machine? Or is it what type of maybe whether it is, see if the number, if I want to increase from a lower to higher number, because we all know that axial flow machines handles large quantity of fluid. Maybe if your radial flow machines, it can handle higher pressures but small quantity of fluids. So the gas turbine engine you take, for example, where you have the axial flow machines, large quantity of mass flow rate of fluid is handled over there. Maybe even I can go for higher pressures. If I want to go for higher pressure, I go for multi-staging. Otherwise, single stage, it can handle large quantity of fluid but smaller pressures. So such advantages are there. Similarly, if I go for a turbine, so if I go back and look into this, what will be the formula? So n root P by rho your GH to power of 5 by 4. That gives the non-dimensional specific speed for a turbine. Or there also, so I can have as low as a number 0.03 or 0.02, and I can go to a very high number of 5 or 6 or 10, whatever it may be. So there also I'm moving from a tangential flow kind of a machine. So hydraulic turbines, if you look at it. So that means if you look into this particular machine, turbo machine very carefully, the head is in the denominator. And we all know that, say the machines, the turbo machines such as Pelton wheel and all, they work under very high head, 300 meters of head or 500 meters or 250 meters and all. That means your specific speed will go down when the machine is working at a very high head. So when my specific speed is a lower number, I will go with a Pelton wheel kind of a machine. Even in that actually, if the number is very low, whether I can go with single jet or double jet or multiple jets. Even Francis turbine, which comes in between your lowest possible non-dimensional numbers to little bit on the higher possible numbers, maybe 5 or 6. If the number is more than 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 or something like that, higher numbers, more than 6 and all, so I'm going towards some kind of a propeller action machine. Where, because the head available is very, very less. Look at this. This head, no? This particular head available is very, very small. So head may be 2 meters, 3 meters. Under these conditions, there should be some kind of a propeller action. So best possible kind of a turbo machine which we look at for such machine is a Kaplan turbine. Okay, a Kaplan turbine will work in this kind of a situation. Or maybe these numbers are in between this maybe 5, 6 to 0.02, somewhere around 2, 3 or 0.1, maybe sorry, 0.5, 1.52 and all. I can go with axial flow steam and gas turbines, which once again they are all axial flow machines. So like this, I can clearly differentiate between what type of turbo machine I'm looking at. Okay, so in the next class, next Monday, what I'm going to do actually, I will show you that particular table. We will discuss on that. Then we'll try to solve a numerical, 1 or 2 numericals. I'll try to put a tutorial sheet. Okay. Then we have one more term, what is called as specific unit speed and unit